What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy Sir Jorge D Great, bringing you our draft analysis for the United Pokemon Association, better known as the UPA for short. I am your coach of the Sandan Eggys. I am currently proudly wearing my chromed out Sandan Eggy t-shirt. There's only two in existence, and I own both of them. Suck it. Anyways, the UPA is a Wi-Fi draft league that I had joined, that I was courageously asked to apply and join. So we are here now, repping the Sandan Eggys. Once again, the brand new logo that I absolutely love. And something else that really kept me in the league was we're actually going to allow GIGANTIMAX Pokemon in our draft. So, this is a brand new format for the who have been avoiding Gen 8 spoilers, and this is your first draft league video you ever watched for Gen 8. Welcome aboard. If you haven't seen any of the spoilers, GIGANTIMAX is a new feature in Pokemon Sword and Shield, where basically it's think about Mega Evolutions but big Pokemon, and that's what you get. You get new max moves and all that. It's a really cool feature, and I absolutely love it, especially like the new forms. And I want it more. I wanted GMAX Phalanx, but we never got it. Anyways, so with that in mind, since we are allowed GIGANTIMAX Pokemon, that's really determined how I started to draft. I really wanted to pick a super offensive Pokemon for my GIGANTIMAX Pokemon, because otherwise, if we have sort of a neutral pick, the damage output of that Pokemon won't be as severe as I would like it to be. And so, going into the draft, I think I was pick number 6 or something like that out of a 20 coach lineup or 18 coach lineup. And so I really wanted to get my GIGANTIMAX out of the way. That was the first Pokemon I really wanted to draft, and then sort of build my way around that. And so there was a lot of good picks, and a lot of I really wanted to get GIGANTIMAX Charizard. I think that there was just a busted Pokemon, especially GMAX Followed Fire. But I had my eyes on this. I was going to get this actually in the APA Academy many months ago, whenever I was a part of that with Big Brain Plays. But unfortunately, I couldn't. Somebody had already taken about the time I was going to make the transaction, and so this Pokemon was still on the table when it came to me around whatever pick number. And so our very first pick for the draft is going to be none other than GIGANTIMAX Gengar, and you guys probably predicted that by the thumbnail. So yeah, we picked up GIGANTIMAX Charizard first. I'm just realizing my microphone is slightly cut off. That's fine. It's whatever. We're rolling with it. Anyways, yeah, we picked up GIGANTIMAX Gengar first. Gengar on its own is a very scary Pokemon. Let alone with its GIGANTIMAX form, we'll be punching holes in our opponent's teams. What's really cool about Gengar is that it's a poison type Pokemon. So when I click GMAX Ooze, my special attack will be raised by 1 stage every time I click it. And Gengar happens to be a special attacker, so we'll be able to take advantage of that GMAX Ooze. And then his Ghost GMAX move, his Ghost move goes from GMAX Phantasm to, or I think it's Phantasm, something along those lines, to GMAX Terror. And that basically traps my opponent shut, so they cannot escape. So it's basically Shadow Tag, which I think is really cool because Mega Gengar does the exact same thing and has a pretty sick animation. GMAX Gengar, who will now be known as Blueberry, because I caught a shiny Hauntor not too long ago in Dynamax Adventures, and it was shiny. It was my first shiny in Sword and Shield in ever since Oraz, 6 years ago. So we have Blueberry, the shiny Gengar, GIGANTIMAX shiny Gengar, mind you, very much. And so yeah, with 110 base speed, we'll be punching holes through our opponent's teams. It's a Pokemon that my opponent is going to have to bring a huge counter to, otherwise we just run through them. It's just simple as that. And I think GIGANTIMAX Gengar Blueberry, our girl, is going to put in some work. Now, for our next pick, like I said before, Gengar is a huge special attacker, and so I wanted to pick another offensive threat that was on the physical side. And I was seeing what was still around. What's something I haven't used before, possibly? Well, I've used this Pokemon in it was a tournament. What's the better word for it? Something along the lines where it wasn't an actual league, but it was just I'm forgetting the word. You probably know what I'm talking about. Anyways, we ended up picking up Sir Po, the URSHIFU-RAPID strike form. Unfortunately, the single strike form was already taken, but I actually like Rapid Strike pairing it off with GIGANTIMAX Gengar because A. Gengar is weak to ground-type Pokemon. Urshifu counters that weakness with his Water Stab and Searching Strikes. Gengar has a hard time you know, breaking do steel type Pokemon because of the, you know, the poison immunity. Urshifu covers that with his fighting stab, and so Urshifu has a weakness to flying type Pokemon. Gengar can cover that with a Max Lightning, and so and then, you know, the grass type Pokemon, Gengar can cover that with the G-Max Ooze. So I'm saying G-Max, but it's just Max Ooze. So there's that. So I really like the pairing of these two Pokemon, especially because, you know, both my opponent's gonna have to, you know, worry about these two threats. So yeah, Urshifu was our tier 1 pick. Gengar, G-Max Gengar is gonna cost us like 40 points from our transactions, which I think is fine. I think we can live with that. It is gonna like put a little pressure on our pennies, but I think it's gonna be a-okay. Urshifu's Rapid Strike does start our Water, Grass, Fire core, and I think I'm very excited to use Serpo. I think Serpo is going to be a fantastic Pokemon this league. Again, just putting pressure on our opponents. Always critting a Pokemon is very huge, in my opinion. And so being able to sort of, you know, crit Pokemon consecutively and consistently is very important, in my opinion. So I think these two Pokemon are going to be really, really good for the draft league. Moving on to our third pick overall. I will say this pick isn't the most reasonable picks, and I say this knowing that I've drafted Eggys for round 1, first pick overall. But this isn't a typical like round 3 pick, but I wanted to pick it up and secure my Pokemon with this. That's usually how I draft. If I see a Pokemon that I really want, despite of its tiering, I'll grab it. So round 3, we're actually picking up Fivezard. It's a Regidrago. We picked up Regidrago. Now, like I said before, not your typical round 3 pick. Regidrago's like a tier 3 pick, tier 2 pick. I picked it up because I really wanted it, like I said. And Regidrago is kind of an interesting Pokemon because you could either run it special or you could run it physical. Because it does get access to Dragon Dance, but also its signature move Dragon Energy as a special move. So we have options when it comes to, you know, pairing it off with Urshifu or G-Max Gengar. If we need Regidrago to be a physical hitter, we can slap it on Crunch, Dragon Claw, Explosion. Its move pool is very limited, but it doesn't need that many moves because of its signature ability, Dragon Small, which will give an additional 50% attack boost to any Dragon type attack I do. So pairing that off with Stab, each Dragon type attack that I click gets an addition, or it's increased by 225%, I believe. The math could be wrong. I'm not a mathematician. Anyways, Regidrago, I think it's gonna be fantastic. But looking at our draft so far, with, you know, what we have, we're very offensive, and we're very like offensive and not very defensive. And I felt like I kind of want to keep that momentum going, picking more offensive picks than defensive, and then worry about my defensive core later down in the draft. And I think that may cost us here and there, but overall, I'm okay with that. I feel like offensively we have a lot of responses. Defensively we sort of lack, but I kind of want to see how this works out to see whether or not, you know, this is gonna work. If not, you know, if it costs us a season, it costs us a season. But we'll go in knowing that we tried our best. Anyways, so that our round 3 pick was Fivezard. I'll get the name down by week 1 if and so yeah, Regidrago's gonna be a huge component to our team. So for our next pick, I really want to get Sticky Webs. That was sort of a priority for me. We don't have any hazards so far. Very scary. I think Gengar might get Toxic Spikes, but so far we have no hazards whatsoever. So I wanted to get Sticky Webs at the very least, and so that's why I picked up Galvantula, Peter Shocker, if you will. The Galvantula will give us Sticky Webs. It will give us a Sticky Web option. But I also like Galvantula with Urshifu Rapid Strikes because because Galvantula does also cover the electric weakness and the grass weakness. It can also take care of the ground weaknesses for Gengar with Energy Ball, which I think is very important. Gengar can also run Energy Ball, but you know, it's a bit more reliable. Again, another frail Pokemon, but I think Sticky with Urshifu is gonna be very nice. Also Gengar, because in case he has a Pokemon that outspeeds Gengar, Sticky Webs will ensure that we outspeed them, unless they're boots. Anyways, I think Galvantula's a fantastic pick here. I am, again, really hoping, you know, Peter Shocker does put in some work, and and we'll see how Peter Shocker does. But you know, Galvantula with the compound eyes will be thundering our opponents to death because we are like 91% accurate with our thunders. I think it's going to be a very interesting season nonetheless. Going into our round 5 pick, I have like my draft picks like in front of me. I needed a fire type Pokemon. There's no way to put it. I wanted a fire type Pokemon, and I wasn't too sure what was available. Whenever it was coming near me, I had 2 picks in mind. I had my number 1 pick, and then I had my number 2 pick, which was Entei. Entei was going to be the backup in case this Pokemon got sniped from me, but fortunately, it wasn't sniped, and we were able to pick it up. And I think this is a very scary Pokemon to go up against, and that's going to be Darmanitan. We ended up picking up. Actually, I don't think I have a nickname for Darmanitan. You'll see it week 1 if I bring it. Darmanitan is a very scary Pokemon. It has a base 140 attack stat, which is just insane. And then with it, having sheer force boosting, moves that have a secondary effect like Rock Slide. It's going to punch holes in my opponent's team, and it's gonna do a lot of damage. So, with that, I feel like again we're very offensive, and I think having Sticky with Darmanitan is going to be another benefit, because again, any Pokemon, if we do decide to bring Sticky Whips, and then we're not forced to run a Scarf on Darmanitan. In fact, we can run Boots, so we don't get hurt by spikes. So that's one thing I had in mind. So I really like this composition of a very offensive core so far. But I feel like we need to pick up if I cannot stutter. We needed to pick up some removal and some hazards of our own, so we can actually have a chance of whittling our opponents down. So because I've learned from the SSBL, you need rocks. You really do. At the very least, rocks, or if not, a spike, because they come in handy. So we have Serena. That's going to be our next pick. Spoiler alert. I don't know why I said Serena so soon. Our Duchess, if you will. Serena is a grass type Pokemon with the Rapid Spin. With Rapid Spin. So that's our first form of removal on the team. I know it's coming out pretty late. But it is what it is. Serena is going to be here. It's a very strong grass type Pokemon that can help out Urshifu Rapid Strikes with those bulkier water type Pokemon, especially because if they have a grass ground, water ground type. Oh yeah, there we go. Sorry, not the grass type Pokemon, but water type Pokemon, bulkier water type Pokemon. Especially water ground type Pokemon. Serena can come in on them pretty easily and just scare them away with a Power Whip or a Grassy Glide. I think he gets Grassy Glide. Or a Giga Drain if we're running a special set, which I doubt. But that sort of completes our our water fire grass core with Urshifu, Darmanitan, and Serena. We're very physically offensive, physically we attack on the physical side. That's what I'm trying to say. So Serena, I think, is going to be a really good Pokemon. I can slap Sylvester on it. It could be a choice Scarf, a choice Bandit. So there's a lot of options with Serena, and I'm very excited to draft. I'm very excited to have it on the team. Next up, we needed this Steel type Pokemon on the squad, and I needed rocks. And I didn't want to pick up another ground weakness for Gengar, and in fact actually it would be cool if I could pick a Steel type Pokemon that had an immunity to it. And luckily this Pokemon's still around, and it was a bit on the pricier side, but we picked it up. We have Seawing, the Skarmory. Seawing is a Steel and Ground type, Steel and Flying type Pokemon that gets access to spikes at the very least, I do believe, but it also might get rocks. I think it gets rocks. I could be wrong, but it also gets Defog, which is another form of removal on the squad. So we'll be able to we have more than one option when it comes to removal. I feel like in the BBR last season, season 2, we didn't have that many removal options, so our team was really wilted down over time. I mean, we were able to combat that quite some bit, but I think it did cost us a little bit. But yeah, Skarmory here is gonna it's just a bulky Pokemon with Serena. Skarmory is just a really, really thick Pokemon, and it pairs off with Serena because Serena's weak to Serena is weak to what's the word I'm looking for? To grass type Flying type Pokemon. Skarmory, resist that. They both have a ice weakness, but I think with URSHIFU-RAPID Strike and Darmanitan, we can sort of like combat that a little bit. We might make some transactions to better accommodate that. Because Urshifu isn't really meant to be an offensive or a defensive presence. So again, I like I said before at the beginning of the draft analysis, offensively we have a lot of answers. Defensively we sort of lack, and we might make some changes to better accommodate that. But Skarmory was our 7th overall pick. Yes, it was. And Seawing is gonna be here for the league. Yeah. Next up for our next pick, we needed an electric immunity still. We needed a Pokemon that could set up rocks. We needed another hazard setter. And so what was left and what points we had left, our options were very limited. So our 8th overall pick is going to 8th. Yeah, 8th. I can count. Our 8th overall pick is going to be Chris Griffin, the Pillow-Slime. We had Chris Griffin in the APA Academy, and Chris Griffin is going to be joining us again for the UPA. Pillow-Slime is a good Eviolite user. It's very bulky, has a thick fight ability, so we basically have a resistance to ice type hits, which Skarmory and Serena had a harder time dealing with. Our weaknesses to fire actually becomes a neutral hit, which I think is fantastic. If we want to run an Oblivious that we can to ignore our opponent's defense changes. Like I said before, Pillow-Slime is a good rocker. It has priority in Ice Shard. Can spam Earthquakes, can spam Icicle Crashes. I was beginning the on and stutter. And yeah, and also has a good knockoff user as well as Serena. I'm very excited about Pillow-Slime having Chris Griffin back on the team. I think it's a fantastic Pokemon. It's a very defensive Pokemon. Can take a few hits, can probably dish out a few hits back. And yeah, that's our 8th overall pick. Going into the next pick, I really wanted to pick up a second type Pokemon. And again, Sword of Removal. This Pokemon Sword of Removal, it's a soft removal because it gets the ability of Magic Bounce rather, I'm sorry. Magic Bounce. We picked up Espeon, Pickles if you will, the Espeon. Now Espeon is a very fast second type Pokemon. It's the same speed set as Gengar, and so with drafting Espeon, what really that does is one less Pokemon that's faster than Gengar, or at least speed types Gengar. So, and especially because if we set up Sticky Webs, it's and my opponent does have Espeon, then unfortunately we really can't do much about it. Espeon does put a lot of pressure on our opponents with the Magic Bounce, because they're most likely not going to want to click rocks, especially if we do have Espeon in the back. So that's something nice that we have in our back pocket. I really like Espeon. We can set up with Calm Minds, and I think we could bounce around with Baton Pass. So there's a lot of options here. We have a lot of momentum. We have, I believe, I don't know. I think. Hold up, let me think. Full switch of Galvantula, U-turn on Darmanitan, U-turn on Serena, and now Baton Pass on Espeon. I don't think Urshifu gets U-turn. Yeah, I know for sure it doesn't get flip turn, which makes... Oh, wait. Does it get flip turn? I don't know. Post-editing, Jorge, can you put something on the screen in front of my face to see whether or not it does get flip turn? Thank you. But yeah, this was our 8th overall pick with Espeon, Pickles the Espeon, and I am very excited to be using Espeon. I've never used it before. In fact, some of the newer Pokemon that I haven't used before is Regidrago and Espeon, and Serena, actually. The other Pokemon I've used somewhat to some extent, so I'm very excited about it. Going into sort of the end of the draft, we basically had no points available to us, and we desperately needed a Fairy type Pokemon to complete our Dragon's Fairy Steel Core. So we ended up picking up CARBINK out of nowhere. We were gonna pick up Clefairy actually. Clefairy was actually our next pick. But somebody had to pick it up, and I was very upset. But anyways, we ended up picking up CARBINK. It's a good screen setter. We can't use a Violet on it because, for some odd reason, CARBINK doesn't evolve into Deoxys. Explain that Pokemon. It's another rocket for us. We can spam Power Gem, Moonblast. It's a Pokemon. Yeah, it's a Pokemon. That's it. CARBINK, our hidden gem here. I don't know whether or not I'll ever bring CARBINK. We'll have to wait and see, you know. Oh boy, I can't sure wait to use screens on this CARBINK with the light clay. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to set up screens with ESPEON, so there's that. CARBINK really, it added another rocket for the team, so we have plenty of options for hazards. Finally going into the last round, we filled up every single slot except for our last one, and it was a free agent. We had 40 points. It was a tier 5 pick. And for some odd reason, for whatever reason, the admins overlooked the severity of how well this Pokemon operates. You know, it's such a broken Pokemon, and it's insane that this was not a tier 1 Pokemon, but instead a tier 5 Pokemon. You guessed it, we picked up Sir Eggys, the Alolan Executor. I legit had no idea what to draft here. Like, I was kind of panicking, and I didn't want to stop the draft anymore. Everyone wanted to end it off the draft, and so I was like, why the hell not? I'll pick up Sir Eggys. Yeah, we picked up Sir Eggys. I cannot say how much more I love this Pokemon. We got the mascot pick. That's it. You've seen me use Sir Eggys before. Plenty of times on this channel. So, you know, don't you know it? That I've used it many a times, eh? I don't know why I went Canadian. That was a really crappy Canadian. But yeah, that's going to wrap up our draft. We have GIGANTIMAX, Gengar, URSHIFU-RAPID Strikes, REGIDRAGO, GALVANTULA, Darmanitan, Serenas, CARBINK, Piloswine, ESPEON, CARBINK, and Alolan Executor, Sir Eggys himself. So, what do you think? Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think of the draft analysis. This is, oh wow, 20 minutes, holy crap. You know, you can talk and talk and talk forever, and before you know it, you have a 20-minute video. Nice. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap things up here. If you guys did enjoy this content, make sure you hit that like button down below, subscribe if you have not already. I'm currently working on something so you guys see more than just my face when I say that. Anyways, you guys do know me as Sir Jorge, coach of your sand and Eggys. Make sure you're up to the word of Chrome that Alolan Executor, which looks hideous because the green is gone. And we'll see you guys next time for some more UPA content. We'll see you then. Bye bye.